One of the best parts about being a YouTuber is people send you free stuff. So this company sent me some free shoes, which is pretty cool, and all I gotta do is make a video about them. The hard part is, how do you make an interesting video about shoes? So what I wanna do is bring you some information on stuff that I learned about cycling shoes. I've owned the Bont Vapor S, S-Fire, Sphere, whatever you call them, the Shimano ones, the S-Works 7s, Bontrager, the ones I'm currently wearing, the Triple X. I own a pair of Cities. So I've tried a lot of different cycling shoes, and here's the problem with all of them, is that you gotta try them on. And I would go as far to say you gotta take a ride with them. The Cities don't fit me at all. I bought them online, and that's the problem with buying this stuff online. I can't go into a bike shop, try on all their shoes, and then leave and go buy them online. I just feel it's a little dirty. You know, some of these shops don't carry all the models, so you can't try them all on in one spot. You gotta try them on, you gotta wear them a bit, because let's say the S-Works 7, I bought those and I wore them for a while, and I just found they didn't fit me as well as these Bontragers. I find the Bontragers fit me the best. They're just the most comfortable to me. That's because I have a very, very high arch. I couldn't wear the Cities. The Shimano shoes, the S-Fire, Sphere, however you pronounce them, please let me know in the comments. Those are actually very comfortable as well. Obviously, when you get into the store, you try them on, you got a much better idea. Even if you're wearing them in the store without going for a ride with them, you could tell right away if they're gonna be comfortable or not. The Bont Vapor S, those I found were the most stable out of any shoe. I found like my foot went in there and it just held my foot the best. The only problem is I found that it's not good for a high arch. And you can see here with this shoe, even right here at the top part of the shoe, how this is all worn out because of how high the rubbing from how high my arches are. So I found with the Bont Vapor S, it dug into my arches a little bit. In terms of performance, I found those were the best performing shoes, but it dug into my arch. Sometimes my arch would get sore and it would almost feel like it was cramping. So what I'm gonna do in this video today is I'm gonna show you these Santic shoes. What interests me about these shoes is they're from China. All these shoes are made in China. And like these, I think retail for like $500 or something. I'll put the price up on the screen, but it's crazy. These are $280 directly from a Chinese manufacturer, and that's expensive. Buying $280 from a brand that I don't really know this brand, Santic. I've never heard of it before. So I'm interested to see how much, you know, what's the difference? Like when you buy one of these, how much you're paying for a brand name? And I know, you know, you see these Windspace and these Chinese bikes, and there's a lot of people swearing by them, and there's a lot of people who say, you know, the bikes are dangerous. But I'm interested to see, look at these side by side, and I'm also gonna show you these cleats. How do you know when you need to replace them? Because these are looking pretty bad right now. I'm gonna show you how to tell when you need to replace your cleats, and I'm gonna show you my ultra super scientific method approved by NASA on how to transfer your cleats to your new shoes with ultra precise precision so they're identical. First, let's take a look at these shoes. So here they are, Santic's the brand, and this is the way they look. First thing I noticed with this knob, most shoes you can click it back, not like you notch it for one notch forward and then one notch back, and then you pull it to open it right up. This, you click it forward, one click back just opens it right up. So you click, 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 and then you can only click it backwards, and then that opens it. So you can't one click it forward, one click it backward. And I think it's because these are not BOAs. These are ATOD, and they probably didn't want to pay the price to use the BOAs, so they're using these, and that could be how they're making it cheaper. Opens it right up. If we look at the Bontragers, and those buttons on the Bontragers these feel better. But you see how I can tighten it, and then I can loosen it one click at a time. And then pull it out, opens the whole thing up. All that comes in the box is that and a bag. I have too many of these bags. So let's take a look at the shoe side by side, the stitching. So it's a different material. I don't even know what that material is. I probably should. These are way more vented though. These are definitely for summer. This is all vented. But if we look at the heel construction, that's all one piece of plastic. These are the insoles. The insoles on the Santics are way better. You can see this is just almost a thin piece of nothing. And these are, it's got the instep thing in there. Oh look, I guess you can take those out. You could take that in or take it out. Huh, that's cool. That's, I guess, to give you some more instep. There you go. Okay, so now if we look inside the shoe, I don't know if you guys can see too well, but they look built, they look like they're built pretty good. I mean, for 280 bucks, like you can see they're double stitched there. It has the same material back here, to that rough material to hold your, same thing here. I'm gonna put the cleats on, go for a ride with them now. I haven't tried a new pair of shoes in forever, so I'm gonna see what it feels like. But just looking at them, they seem well made. I can't really tell the difference, you know, like these, I've worn these every day for almost a year, and they're looking pretty good for how old they are. But you know, that's the real true test, is how long the things last. That's how you can tell the quality, is like using something every day and then how well it wears. But I'll show you here real quick. How you doing? So I'll show you real quick on how to know when it's time to replace your cleats. So you can see there's a line right there. When this wears down past that line, it's time to replace them. These are pretty raggedy. I could probably get away with changing them now, especially up here. You can see that thing's all... Let me show you my super scientific method on how to put the new cleats on. I'll get my new cleats and get them ready. And I'll get all the screws out of the box, and I'll have my Allen key ready to go. And then I'll get both of these shoes and I'll lean up against them on a wall like this. And I'll make sure they're straight, like this. And I'll get my first cleat. I'll start the first screw just so it holds it, but I can move it around. I make sure the shoes are straight. I get my tape measure and I measure how far from the tip of the first cleat on obviously the shoe I've been using, and then I do the same thing. So we got about 2.5, and then I also look at the back. Okay, so that looks perfect, and I'll put the rest of the screws in. And as I'm tightening these down, I want to go around, and I don't want to tighten one of them way too hard, because if you tighten one of these way too hard, it's going to twist the cleat. So we're going around and we're tightening them all just a little bit at a time, and I'm holding the cleat to make sure it doesn't move, because I don't want the cleat to move. But you want to really get these snug down tight, because if you don't, they could creak. Now here's a little tip I learned from the OG Durian Rider. Sure, we all know Durian Rider. If you haven't, check out his videos. So I take my white out, and then what I do is I just mark the corners just a little bit. And now that I've marked the corners, if I need to move it, I got an idea of where I am. So what I'll do is I'll do the exact same thing with the next shoe, and then we'll get out on the road. And it'll be interesting to see if I feel a difference. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'll like them. I got a feeling I'm gonna be sticking with the Bontraggers. I'm gonna get the other cleat on. Let's get out on the road. I'm gonna be giving these away. I'm gonna tell you what I like about them, how they compare to my Bontraggers, and then link will be in the description, and you can enter to win. Let's get out on the road. I'll tell you about that. Right off the bat, I can feel the shoes digging into my ankle, and that's because of my high arch. But let me show you exactly what I'm talking about and why this causes such a problem for people with high arches. So let me show you this real quick. Here's the issue, is that when you put them on and you walk around, they feel completely different, and this is all cycling shoes, than when you're riding. So what I would recommend is sit down and lean forward like this. Lean forward and see. So here's the problem with the shoe, is look at how bloated it looks through here, and that's because of my high arch. But what it does is it presses in right here it presses in as I'm pedaling, and then what that does is it pushes the tongue down, and then I can also feel pressure here. So you can see how that tongue is indented, and it's supposed to be like that, but my high arch pushes it down. And so when I'm pedaling like this, I can feel the pressure here on the top of my foot. So if you have a high arch, this isn't the shoe for you. And that's why the Bontrager, the Shimano shoe is good, is because it doesn't have a tongue. It's the fabric is layered over each other. There's other shoes that do that as well. So if you have a high arch, look for that kind of model. But it's like I said in the beginning, this is the problem with cycling shoes, is you gotta go into the bike shop, you gotta try them on, But more importantly, you got to try them on the bike, and that's really hard to do, and not a lot of people are going to do that. Not a lot of bike shops are going to let you do that, let you return them. I think Amazon has an amazing return policy. I don't know what types of shoes they sell on Amazon. The point being, I know for sure if you have a high arch, Bontrager, Shimano, great shoes, personal experience, I can say that. But I don't know what it's like to have a low arch, where I think most of the shoes are designed for people with low arches. Anyways, I'm giving these shoes away. They're a size 45. I hope you liked the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff really helps out my channel. Love you guys. I'll see you on the next video. I'll see you soon. Bye.